In almost every police department, there's a place where cold homicide cases gather dust. Each box contains unfinished business, evidence, interviews, in its very own murder book. These cases aren't dead, but sleeping. Each one waiting for new leads and a cop to dig out the truth and finally bring a killer to justice. Largo, Florida, smack dab between the Gulf Coast and Tampa Bay. There are two kinds of people here: tourists who come and go, and townies who call Largo home year-round. Townies stick together, take care of each other. So when one of their own is found with her throat slit, everyone bleeds for decades.
That was a good one.
Detectives Joe Coyle and Keith Barton have a rep for solving Largo's toughest cases.
So remember that time in high school when you were gonna go ask out Susan at lunchtime?
The more I try to concentrate, the more you like to go back to that story.
Well, that's how I win.
Maybe it's because they're Largo boys, born and bred.
You might want to grab that one.
The two of them have been friends since 6th grade. They've always been opposites, but together, they're a force to be reckoned with.
I'm the one, I just want to go kick the door and just go grab him. Keith's the one, no, it's hold off, let's do this. If you have two people like Keith, it wouldn't be great. If you had two people like me, it wouldn't be great. But you take us together, that's what made us great partners.
Over the years, they've solved some of the toughest cold cases in the department.
There's a lot of whodunits out there just because of dumb luck. Somebody gets away with it for whatever time period. That eats at you. You want to close it out.
In 2003, their reputation for success lands them the biggest challenge of their careers, the department's most infamous unsolved case.
Let's get to work.
Hey, Donnie was having. Hey.
It's another weekend at the Country Club Lounge, one of the most popular townie watering holes in Largo.
Party's here. Hey, ho, how's it going?
For a long time, everybody called it Largo's Cheers. It's kind of like a large family with all ages, from 21 to 90. We would stay busy all day long, and there would be 3 deep sometimes behind the bar stools.
It was like an adult game room. You could play the jukebox, you could watch TV, you could play darts. Just a comfortable atmosphere for big people to go.
It's Saturday night, and that means Susan Hiliker's behind the bar.
Everyone loved Susan. She just was a sweetie. She made everybody feel welcome and made them feel comfortable.
Susan is warm and generous, but she's no pushover.
So did I ever tell you about the time somebody came in here with a gun?
What?
Yeah, he took it out. He put it on the bar like it was John Wayne or something.
What? Are you kidding?
No, and I took it off the bar and I just looked at him and I said, so what do you want to drink? Last call, guys.
At closing time, a few regulars are still hanging around. The bartender, 42-year-old Susan Hiliger, moves everyone out so she can clean up and get home to her family.
Hey, Susan, can we help you?
No, I'm fine. Y'all take off. Come on, let's go.
Her friend Dottie wants to stay behind so she won't be alone.
Good night. Thanks so much. We'll see you tomorrow.
I knew Susan had locked the back door, and then when she let us out the front door, which was a big safety glass door, that was a steel frame and it had a double-click lock on it. I stood right there while she locked it.
Once the door is deadbolted, Susan signals everything's okay. Police get a call from the country club's janitor, who found the back door wide open and a horrifying scene inside.
Could I get both of those registers after you get done with the phone?
Kelly Goswick is Largo's newest homicide detective. He was handpicked after 8 years of being a star in the property crimes unit. This is his very first homicide, and he's struggling to keep his nerves in check.
I just had to remember, okay, yes, it's a murder. Yes, it's a different type of investigation. So I just have to make sure that I put everything into perspective and not get too nervous about the situation. The first thing I remember was that I saw a couple of overturned chairs. But the bar in and of itself was rather unremarkable looking until you'd actually looked behind the bar itself.
It's Susan Hiliger, with her throat slashed from ear to ear.
And what struck me was the fact that she was laying in a very, very passive type of a position. Everything was intact as far as her clothing. There just didn't appear to be any kind of a struggle. It indicated that she was probably already unconscious when the actual laceration to her neck occurred.
The cash register drawer is open, mostly empty. On the other side of the bar, a broken trophy. A few feet away, chunks of lightweight ceiling material are scattered on the floor. There's also a trail of beer bottles that lead to the men's room.
As soon as I looked in the bathroom, there were no ceiling tiles right up above the men's urinal. If someone wanted to go up into the ceiling, the men's urinal would be a natural ladder or a step stool. So we took a little closer look, and we found a mark on top of the men's urinal, which was kind of an unusual mark.
While forensics tries to pull a print, cops comb the place for more evidence.
Looks like our killer wanted out of here really bad.
It was a tennis shoe footprint, and it was actually fairly easy to see even with the naked eye.
Goswick heads to the bar's unlocked back door. Outside, a trail of scattered clues.
I think this is a piece of ceiling tile.
Well, it matches the ones inside.
The collection of evidence to send to the lab is mounting. In the bushes, they find another piece of the broken trophy from inside the bar. A few feet away, a bloody bar towel.
If you had left the door from where we surmised the suspect did and run due north, the items that were found would have been pretty much in a straight line.
The news sweeps through Largo like a tidal wave. Horrified townies start to gather outside the bar.
Our regulars, we were a tight-knit group. You know, everybody wanted to know, how did this happen? Who did this? What went on?
Bar owner's in the back of the car.
I went into like some form of shock or denial. It was all like it was slow motion, like I was watching it on a TV screen. It just wasn't real.
First thing Goswick asks is if she can shed some light on the broken trophy in the bar.
I had a client that had an old bowling trophy, and we had fun with it. It wasn't valuable.
Were you having any work done to the men's bathroom?
No. Why?
There was some ceiling tiles missing. Was it that way before?
No.
It confirms what Goswick thought when he first looked around the men's room.
My belief was that somebody had gone up into the ceiling prior to closing time and had come down out of the ceiling after the bar was closed for the purpose of committing a burglary. It went haywire because all of a sudden there was Susan. And he didn't count on that.
That could only mean one thing. Among the friendly regulars tipping back beers at the neighborhood bar that night, there was an ice-cold killer. Less than 6 hours after Susan Hiliger was found murdered in Largo's Country Club lounge,
Excuse me.
her husband shows up looking for her because she never came home from her shift.
Yellow tape was everywhere and cops were everywhere, and I knew then it was terrible.
My wife works here. Is she okay? I mean, this is where she works. What's going on?
There's no way to sugarcoat it. There's no way to make it easy. There just is no way to do any of that. All you can do is be honest.
Sir, I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but your wife has passed away.
What?
You get numb. It's just little, like flashes of strobe light that are just hitting you. I thought to myself, this is, you know, television, newspaper stuff. It doesn't happen to us. You know, we're not those kind of people.
But nothing can comfort Bill Hiliger. He's lost the light at the center of his world. He was attracted to Susan from the moment they met. But it took a year for him to get out of the friend zone.
Wow, look at you. You look like Miss America.
Bill Hiliker.
I love it.
Well, if I didn't know better, I'd say you were flirting with me.
Well, you catch on quick.
I always thought she was stunningly beautiful, and she had a tremendous personality. She was very outgoing. She had just tons of friends.
Bill was as taken with her carefree spirit as with her bright smile. But she always reminded him she came as a package deal.
I want to show you something.
Okay, what do you got?
My kids.
A single mom with 5 kids would be a lot for any guy to take on. But Bill was smitten. They were married 5 years later.
She loved her kids. She was devoted to her kids, and Bill was her second husband, and she just thought he walked on water. She just loved him to death.
She was just as devoted to her work family, always offering a friendly ear to anyone who sidled up to her bar.
She'd have people that might be a little upset, and before they knew it, they'd forgotten what they were upset about. She just had a real way about herself.
According to everyone, Susan didn't have an enemy in the world. And that makes him think his burglary gone wrong theory is right on target. And the killer was locked inside with Susan after closing time. Now, he just has to prove it. Goswick starts by questioning anyone who was in the bar the night before.
Came in around 9, left around 10:30.
That whole day and night there, my customers were coming forward to tell the police I was there that night.
So what time did you leave?
Oh, 1:15, 1:30, closing time.
I left at so-and-so, so it was no time at all before they had a really clear picture of who my customers were that night.
No one stands out until Goswick talks to Susan's friend, Dottie Hermance. She clearly remembers seeing a man she didn't recognize at the end of the bar.
Looked like he hadn't been out in the daylight for ages. Kind of a sallow complexion. So it piqued my interest. I kept trying to figure out what he was doing there.
Was he alone?
Yeah, he seemed to be, but well, he was talking to this guy, Scott, who used to work for me for a while, and they seemed like they knew each other. Scott left, and this scruffy-looking guy gets up and he goes to the bathroom. That was around 1:30. And he comes back in, he sits down.
Last call, guys.
We're finishing up our drinks, and he gets up and he goes to the bathroom again. And so I just watched and watched, and he didn't come back. So
The little hairs go up on the back of my neck when things aren't right, when something's just out of whack. And I'm not usually wrong.
He's still in the bathroom. Go check.
Huh?
Thanks.
My friend went into the men's room,
There's nobody
came
in there.
back, and he said, there's nobody in there. Not a soul.
Closing up, friends.
And we all just got up and got ready to leave.
And you saw him at no other point after that?
No, he just disappeared.
Goswick's pretty sure he can prove how the guy vanished into thin air. And he's learned something even more valuable. At least one person at the bar knew the scruffy stranger Dottie described. But what Goswick doesn't realize yet is that he knows him too. Detectives Joe Coyle and Keith Barton are meticulously going through the 16-year-old murder book of local bartender and mother of five Susan Hiliger, who was found with her throat slashed from ear to ear.
Think about 1987. I mean, even now that's a brutal murder, but this is 1987 when it was a smaller town back then.
By the time they finish reading the detective's report of the first week of the investigation, Coyle and Barton see just how small the town really was.
So tell me about this guy.
2 days after Susan Hiliger was killed, homicide detective Kelly Goswick has his first big lead. A scruffy man who was last seen going into the men's room of the country club lounge. Regular Dottie Hermance said she saw him talking to her friend Scott. So Goswick tracks Scott down.
He went to the washroom a couple of times.
Did you see him when he came back the last time?
Come to think of it, I don't think I did.
Did you catch the guy's name?
Yeah, I know the guy. His name's Jeff Lobic.
You said Jeff Lobic?
Yeah.
It was kind of a surreal moment because of my past as a crimes against property detective. I knew exactly who he was.
Jeff, what is all this stuff?
They're mine.
3 TVs.
I like watching TV.
How many times are we gonna do this, Jeff?
Goswick had arrested 20-year-old Jeff Lobic several times, going back to when he was a juvenile offender. He knew Lobic's MO very well. Take the path of least resistance.
If you steal from me one more time, Jeffrey Lobic, you are not going to be able to come back.
You like seeing your mother so upset?
He specifically targeted people that he knew. He was stealing from his friends, from his relatives, so this gives you kind of an insight to his personality.
Goswick's always kept Lobic on his radar. At age 20, he still doesn't have a job and lives with his parents just a half-mile away from the country club lounge.
It's kind of, you know, setting off some bells and whistles about, well, I know where he's living, and I know that this is kind of in a direct line with which way we believe the person left and where they were running, so it was a little strange.
Goswick wonders if Lobic tried upping his game from petty crime to knocking off a local hotspot that somehow ended in murder.
Jeff knew how to play the game. So I had to be very, very careful about how I approached him and how I spoke to him.
May I come in? I want to ask you some questions.
Because I was afraid that he would just stop everything dead in the water right then and there on the spot. And I didn't want that to happen.
I understand you were at the country club bar the other night when Susan Hiliger was killed.
Yeah. Terrible thing, huh?
As soon as I saw his shoes, I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure I have my guy. But I had to not let him know what I was thinking. So my poker face had to be really, really good at that point, just to make sure that he was not getting any indication that I was looking at him other than just being in the bar and, hey, you know, can we talk about it a little bit further? I just want to find out who you were with and who you went home with.
Goswick asks Lobic to come down to the station to provide a witness statement.
You have time for that?
Yeah, but I don't have a car.
I'll give you a ride.
Yeah, sure, if it'll help.
Very good.
Am I a suspect?
Relax. Everybody from the bar has been in this room the last 2 days.
To begin with, he was fairly calm.
You left the bar when?
12:30.
Did you go straight home?
Yes.
Did your parents see you come home?
I don't remember. I think maybe they were asleep.
The longer we're there and the more he is now starting to get the impression that I'm looking at him a little bit differently than being someone who was just in the bar, he's starting to get a lot more nervous.
You all right? You want some water or something?
No, I'm good.
Say, when you were at the country club bar, did you use the men's restroom at all?
No.
He's sitting with his arms folded, which is an indicator that he doesn't want to talk to me. He's leaning towards the door. His breathing is actually so erratic. I can see through his shirt, his abdomen actually moving up and down. He's that nervous. I know I have my guy. There's no question in my mind. I have my guy.
Were you wearing those shoes?
Yeah.
Mind if I take them?
My shoes?
Yeah, well, we're checking everybody's shoes.
Well, okay, I guess.
He was so sure that he didn't leave any evidence whatsoever that for him it just wasn't a big deal to give me his tennis shoes, is what I was thinking.
Very good, thank you.
Look, I mean, are we done here? I have some people that I need to meet.
Goswick is at a tipping point. He's run out of generic questions, and in order to ask more pointed, incriminating questions, he's going to have to read Jeff Lobic his rights. Lobic may not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but he's smart enough to know when Miranda shows up, it's time to shut up.
Okay, Jeff. I'm going to read you your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do may be used against you.
No, that's it. I'm through. I'm done.
The interview was, for all intents and purposes, was done at that point. I was hot. I'm sitting here thinking, here's my guy. I know you're my guy. You know you're my guy. And I can't do anything about it.
But Goswick still has one potential ace in the hole. He sends the shoes to the lab.
I'm hoping that they will be able to tell me that, yes, that is absolutely the same shoe that made the mark on top of the urinal and the one on the door.
While Goswick waits for the lab results, Susan Hiliger is laid to rest. It's one of the biggest funerals the town has ever seen.
The turnout was incredible. I really didn't realize how many people that my mom had touched until there were literally people standing in the church.
I hadn't ever been to many funerals, but the funeral was held at the same church we were married in. The church seats either 700 or 800 people, and the crowd of people was all the way out to the street, to the curb where traffic was. And that, frankly, wasn't surprising to me because, I mean, if you work in places like a nightclub or a bar, chances are you're going to know a lot of people to begin with. But she had a lot of close friends, and her death impacted a lot of people. It was terrible.
That's when it finally just like snapped, you know, everything just kind of clicked, you know, and then it was like, this is real. I'm not gonna wake up tomorrow and it'll be different, or I can't say anything to change it. You know, I guess that was when I really realized that that was the end. That was the end.
The huge outpouring of grief for Susan fuels Detective Kelly Goswick's resolve to make sure Lobic gets put away. Three days later, the lab results come back. Lobic's shoes are consistent with the print on the door, but the print on the urinal is too smeared to make a conclusive match. And that's the one that counts.
There would be ways to explain away why your tennis shoe print was on the inside of a door. Maybe not good explanation, but you could come up with an explanation for that. You would have a pretty difficult time explaining why your specific tennis shoe print was on top of a urinal that went up into a false ceiling.
And if Goswick can't put Lobic up in the ceiling, his burglar-turned-killer theory goes right out the window.
You get one shot at filing charges, you get one shot at a trial. And if you don't make it work, you don't get another shot at it.
His only hope is matching Lobic's fingerprints on file to one from the crime scene. They find plenty of his prints on the bar, but none on the chunks of ceiling tile, the crawl space, the broken trophy, or the bloody bar towel. Looks like career criminal Lobic knew enough to wipe his prints clean. Goswick's first homicide investigation has come to a screeching halt.
There's a woman that's dead, and there's a family that doesn't have their mother anymore and their wife, and I know who did it, and yet I can't do anything about it.
It's Goswick's first bitter taste of a murder book going cold, but he's not going down without a fight.
I solicited some input from some other very knowledgeable people too to take a look at it and say, you know, what did I miss here? What did I do wrong? You know, because I'm thinking this is my first murder investigation, so I think I probably botched something up here. And you know, they pretty much said the same thing. There's nothing really more that you can do with it, and then you have to back off the throttle.
All Goswick can do is keep tabs on Lobic, hoping he'll get sloppy and tell someone about that night. But the burglar keeps his mouth welded shut.
I mean, it's been 2 years. What in the world is going on with this?
We're working on it, Mr. Hiliger.
Susan Hiliger's husband doesn't take the news well.
I was very angry with the whole Largo Police Department because I felt like they just ignored it. They closed the book and they walked away.
He was hurt, frustrated, all those things. Again, frustrating for me because I couldn't give him much information, frustrating for him because he couldn't get much information.
Finally, 2 years after Susan's murder, Jeff Lobic lands in jail after being nabbed for another burglary. Goswick jumps at the chance to take another crack at him.
Hey, Jeff. You ready to talk?
Why not? I'm so bored I'll even talk to you. But if you're here to ask me about that bartender, I didn't kill her. Remember? I told you. I went for one drink, and I went home. That's it.
Goswick changes up his tactics, tries to get in Lobic's head by playing good cop.
I told him, Jeff, I know what you did. I know you didn't go in there to hurt her. I know that for a fact. I said, you're a burglar.
You were surprised, Jeff. You didn't know that Susan would still be there. But you didn't want to go back to jail. You knew she recognized you. You had to do something. But it was an accident.
He's got his head down. He's not looking at me. He won't make any eye contact with me. You've now gotten to the point where they're going to get ready to say, I did it.
It's been bothering you. I know it has.
I'm getting pretty fired up, actually, because I'm sitting here thinking, oh, I've got him. I'm getting my admission today. I know I'm getting my admission today.
I don't want to talk about this anymore. I need an attorney.
I said, Jeff, I just want to be perfectly clear about something. You killed this woman. You know you did it. I know you did it. I said, obviously, I can't charge you right now, or I would. But I want you to keep in mind that if you think for 1 second that this is just going to go away, it's not ever going to go away. So if I were you, I'd be looking over your shoulder for the rest of your life.
For months, Goswick tries to find something concrete to tie Lobic to Susan's murder, but he just can't do it.
I was absolutely, completely, and utterly fit to be tied because I'm right on the precipice of closing this case, and then again, I'm dead in the water. I'm completely dead in the water.
In September of 1989, Goswick is reassigned. Over the next 14 years, as Lobic's prison sentence ticks down, the heat is turned up on the police department. A succession of new detectives work the case to keep Lobic behind bars, but everyone comes up short. Susan Hiliger's husband, Bill, gets more infuriated with every passing year.
They said we don't have enough evidence and we can't move forward. And I was absolutely lividly hateful of the Largo police for 10, 15 years. I couldn't believe they were just letting this thing sit.
In 2003, just months away from Lobic's release, the notorious cold case lands on the desks of Largo's dynamic cop duo. Joe Coyle and Keith Barton have barely read through the murder book when they get a punch to the gut.
You see the paper today? Take a look at page 2.
After waiting for years, Susan's widowed husband, Bill Hiliger, is on the warpath. In an interview with the local paper, he says the Largo police don't care enough to solve his wife's murder.
He said that no law enforcement officer in the state of Florida is going to be on his Christmas list. I don't, to the day I die, I'll still remember reading that. It sounded like he thought we just took the book and threw it away.
Joe Coyle immediately pays Bill a visit.
Listen, Bill, we've never stopped working it.
Oh, yeah, it seems to me you stuck it in a drawer someplace and forgot about it.
And I said, I can't make you any promises, but I know who it is, and I'm going after him. And, you know, when I say go after somebody, I go after somebody.
Look, when all this is said and done, you're going to be sending me a Christmas card and thanking me.
To make good on that promise, Coyle and Barton's first move is to sit down with the guy who knows the case better than anyone, Kelly Goswick, who's still a patrol sergeant at the station.
Going to the actual source rather than reading it in a murder book is more accurate. So we took the opportunity to talk to him as often as we could about it.
Goswick never wavers on what he believes needs to be done to get this one closed.
The key is finding proof that Lobic was in that ceiling.
But evidence is in short supply. A possible footprint match? A witness who saw him go into the men's room. Nothing concrete. There's only one way they can solve this case. They need Lobic to confess.
Jeffrey Lobic had been released from the Department of Corrections. Upon his release, we figured he was fair game, and we decided that we would take another run at interviewing him.
But after all these years and all his previous stonewalling, it seems like an impossible task. They know they only have one shot before he lawyers up. So they can't let him know they're looking at him in the Susan Hiliger case again. On June 30th, 2004, Barton and Coyle work up a cover story and go to the construction site where Lobic's working as a day laborer.
We're with the Largo Police Department. I wanted to speak with you about one of your employees, Jeffrey Lobic.
What did he do?
Actually, Jeffrey was a witness to a case where we lost a bunch of files, so he could really be a help for us.
He's at another site right now. I can go get him. Why don't you wait in the break room?
While we were waiting on Lobic to come to the office, we kind of positioned some chairs so that we were furthest from the door and Jeff Lobic was closest to the door. And the purpose for that was to let him know, hey man, you can leave whenever you want. We're not locking you in. You're not trapped in here behind two detectives wearing guns. Whenever you're ready to leave, you get up and walk out, and we're not going to stop you.
We decided no table. I don't like tables. To me, it gives them empowerment. It gives them a shield. So we basically had 3 chairs. One for Lobic, one for Keith, one for me. That was it.
Coyle and Barton think their only chance to nail Lobic is to make him comfortable, get him talking, and hope he trips up. But they have to tread lightly. One misstep, and Lobic could slip out of their grasp forever.
I wanted the chance to take that shot, put it like in a sniper holding a hostage. You know, you got maybe 3 inches of the bad guy's head. You know, some people might not take the shot because they might not do it. If you take the shot, you hit the bad guy, you're a hero. You take the shot, you go 1 inch over and you kill the victim, you're not a hero. But you took the shot.
Hey, here he comes.
We get him up in the crawl space, we're good, because I have a witness who heard the deadbolt click close when Susan locked up and said there was no one in the bar. Whoever's still in the bar is what killed the person. Whoever's in the bar that killed the person is the person that was up in the crawl space. All evidence pointed to that. We wanted to get him to say he was in the crawl space and get his shoes on the urinal.
Just before Lobic arrives, detectives turn on an audio recorder.
We just took the approach that, hey, if we can get him talking and we can record it, then, you know, we don't have to convince people that he made an admission or said a particular thing. They can hear it for themselves.
Hey, Jeff. I'm Joe Coyle, Largo Police Department. How you doing?
Good.
Keith Barton.
The detectives know Lobic is nervous, but they've rehearsed their parts over and over and are ready for an Oscar-worthy performance. Their cover story? They're just 2 friendly but dim-witted cops who have been trying to rebuild Susan's case because the original files were all lost.
Well, Jeff, you know the police department moved to another building, and during that time, we lost a lot of files, unfortunately. And as our luck would have it, our boss is having us kind of go back and just, you know, kind of fill in a lot of blanks.
Basically, what we do is we just start BSing with them. We just start saying, hey, Lobic, we're here on this case from, and I'm playing stupid, Keith's playing stupid. I mean, we got this whole case pretty much memorized. We're like, God, who was the detective? Was it Goswick? Yeah, it was Goswick. Yeah, we heard Goswick was this guy was working this case. It was a cold case or some homicide that happened at a country club lounge. And I mean, literally doing it like that.
Yeah, I remember Goswick. He talked to me a couple times.
He did?
I don't have that in my notes, Joe. I don't know.
Yeah, I talked to him twice.
Well,
Well, now when we start talking like this, you can just see the shoulders go down a little bit. He's relaxed. He's opened up his guard and everything.
Once they think Lobic's buying the scam, they spring their trap.
Goswick said something about the men's room and a crawl space, and you wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
I told Goswick that I had gone up into the crawl space.
Oh, what the hell did he just say? Just like that. I still get goosebumps from it. Just right now, I got it just from him saying. He goes, "Oh yeah, I was up in the crawl space."
And why did you say you were up there?
Smoke some crack.
And that was pretty much the point that I wanted to fall out of my chair in surprise, because that was what we needed. We needed him to put himself in the attic, and he hadn't done it to that point. But he forgot. He thought he told Detective Goswick all those years before that he had been up in that attic, and he never had.
So you went up there to smoke crack?
I didn't want anyone else to see, so I just popped up there. You know, no one had a clue.
I mean, that really sounded preposterous that someone would go up in that confined space to do that when they could just as easily walk behind the bar. But he had to come up with an excuse as to why he was in that attic, and he felt like that was it.
So you got up into the crawl space by stepping on the urinal, right? Because I think we have one of your footprints that was found there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was my footprint.
And like, that was number 2. I'm like, oh God, this guy.
Hey, Lobic, we need you out here, man. We're falling behind.
Gotta get back to work.
And just like that, after 17 years, he walks out the door, having given up exactly what detectives have needed since day one.
We're like, what the hell? We're high-fiving, you know, holy you gotta be kidding, what just happened? And now it's like, oh God, I hope that recorder worked.
Yeah, I told Goswick that I had gone up into the crawl space.
There it is. That's it. We got him.
First thing we did was call Kelly from the car. I'm like, Kelly, you're not gonna believe this. He goes, what? He puts himself in the attic, and then he goes, you're me. I'm like, no, dude. He puts himself in the attic, and we got it on recording.
I was ecstatic. I was thinking, you know what? We're fine. I think we're finally gonna get this guy.
Detectives can now prove what happened in the Country Club Lounge on June 7th, 1987.
Hey, Johnny, what's happening?
Hey, you're up.
All right.
It's a typical Saturday night. The place is packed with locals.
The party's here. Hey, ho, how's it going? Nice to see you.
Jeffrey Lobic is there too. He's a local, so no one pays attention to him, except for Susan's sharp-eyed friend, Dottie, who's tipped off by his odd behavior. Around 2 a.m., Susan Hiliger gets ready to close up.
Last call, guys. Closing up, friends.
That's when Lobic disappears into the restroom.
Hey, Susan, can we help you?
No, I'm fine. Y'all take off. Come on, let's go.
Okay,
bye.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, yeah, take care. Okay.
It was a good night. Thanks so much. We'll see you tomorrow.
I think that he was waiting for the bar to close and then come down and do a burglary. But the problem is he came down and Susan was still there.
I think that he used the trophy to hit her on the head, rendering her unconscious. And then I think he dragged her behind the bar, and that's when he cut her throat.
Panicked, Lobic grabs the money from the register and tries to get out. but he realizes the front door is a dead end. So he heads to the back door, unlocks it, and takes off for his parents' house a half-mile away. Once the DA files charges, Joe Coyle and Keith Barton go to arrest Jeff Lobic. They make a quick pit stop along the way.
He deserved it. After everything he went through, that anguished him big time throughout his career that he wasn't able to get Lobic. And I wanted him to have that, his sense of closure, I should say, to come with us. He was coming no matter what.
We need you to step outside, please.
It was like a deer in headlights when he saw everyone standing there. And I think he knew at that point in time it was done.
I told you I'd be back.
And that was a cool moment right there. And I just stood back, and you know what? That was the best present to me, was watching that.
The detectives have one more call to make.
Hello?
Joe called me and he said, "We got him. He's in the back seat. We're headed over to the Ocala jail." And I thought, man, that's it. It's over. It's done. You know, they got it. My whole attitude towards Largo Police and Joe Coyle and everybody else did a 180. And I said, wow, finally something.